Welcome back to the Wrestling Dispatch, everyone. We've got a packed episode today with major legal developments involving Vince McMahon. We've got some news on upcoming WWE title matches. Jim Ross made some interesting comments about Mercedes Moné on his podcast recently. And we've also got the lineups for New Japan's upcoming shows in the UK and Japan. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's dive right into the news. So attorneys representing Janel Grant have filed a legal motion in Connecticut State Court against Dr. Carlon Colker, physician and owner of Peak Wellness. So this follows a bill of discovery that Janel Grant's team filed in July asking for her medical records from the clinic. So according to Grant's attorneys, Vince McMahon sent Grant to Coker's medical clinic where McMahon allegedly sexually abused her alongside a clinic employee. It is also further claimed that McMahon accessed Grant's private medical records and directed her treatment at the clinic. This is directly from the press release that was sent out today. It says, McMahon, who was in direct contact with Dr. Colker, obtained access to Miss Grant's private medical records and dictated her treatments. A physical therapist at Peak Wellness joined McMahon in the repeated sexual abuse of Miss Grant, including one instance in which McMahon defecated on Miss Grant's head and forced her to continue engaging in a sexual act with the Peak Wellness employee. And of course, this instance was also detailed in Grant's lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis, filed in January. Although I don't think they specifically mentioned it was a Peak Wellness employee in the initial lawsuit filed in January. So today's filing also alleges that Dr. Colker repeatedly medicated Grant with unknown substances, some of which were administered intravenously. Grant was treated at the clinic from November 22nd, 2019 to April 15th, 2022. And she reportedly visited the clinic more than 60 times during that period. So Grant filed a bill of discovery on July 1st, seeking access to her complete medical and billing records, as well as the communications between McMahon and Colker. Colker and Peak Wellness responded by filing a motion to dismiss on August 29th, and today's filing from Grant's attorneys aims to have that motion dismissed. Here's a quote from Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, in today's press release. She said, imagine being at your most vulnerable, and the doctor you are told to see only makes you feel worse. Our filing today makes clear that Dr. Colker violated ethical and medical standards when he injected unknown substances into Janel's body and directed her to take unlabeled pills while dismissing her basic questions about those drugs. Peak Wellness owes Janel Grant answers, and the clinic's secrecy and evasion must come to an end. Grant's attorneys have requested that the following 8 categories of medical and billing records be provided by Colker and Peak Wellness. Miss Grant's electronic medical records, including all associated metadata. Dr. Colker and Peak Wellness's record-keeping and billing procedures. Payment records relating to Miss Grant. Dr. Colker and Peak Wellness's payment arrangements with McMahon and or WWE, the purpose of Miss Grant's prescribed treatments, the substance of Miss Grant's prescribed treatments, any communications between Dr. Colker and McMahon relating to Miss Grant, and Dr. Colker's involvement in recommending Miss Grant's attorney for negotiation of the purported non-disclosure agreement. This case is still unfolding, and we will keep you posted on new developments. Jim Ross recently shared some interesting thoughts regarding Mercedes Moné on his Grillin' JR podcast. So Mercedes Moné made her AEW debut back in March at Big Business. She quickly captured the TBS championship. However, despite all that she's done in AEW over the last 6-7 months, one person who isn't quite impressed with her yet is Jim Ross. This is what Jim Ross had to say about Mercedes Moné on his podcast recently. He said, Mercedes Moné, I still haven't felt her yet. I still haven't felt her connection yet. I know that she's got a lot of popularity. I know that people around the world know who she is, but I haven't felt it. Sometimes I think she's a cool babyface, and sometimes I think she's a cool heel, but she's pretty cool nonetheless. So I thought that was interesting. Jim Ross thinks Mercedes Moné is cool, but hasn't felt a connection with her yet. And I guess that's all there is to say about that. The War Raiders are back. Ivar and Erik returned on Monday's episode of Raw, picking up a quick victory over the Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa and Otis. And it was during their appearance on Raw last night that it was confirmed that they will now compete under their original NXT name, the War Raiders. With their win on Monday, they advanced in a tournament to determine the next contenders for the World Tag Team titles, currently held by Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. This marked the first time Erik and Ivar have reunited as a team since Erik's recovery from neck fusion surgery, which kept him out of action for over a year. Ivar had continued wrestling solo until May, when he was revealed to be dealing with a significant injury himself. And Valhalla, Erik's wife, is currently expecting their second child, so she's out as well. A big match for next week's edition of Monday Night Raw was also scheduled on last night's show. There will be a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso will defend the title against the man he beat for the belt, Bron Breakker, and that's on the October 21st edition of WWE Raw. Two other matches are announced for next week's show, and they are both matches that take place in the World Tag Team Championship Contenders Tournament. We will see the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus American Maids Brutus and Julius Creed. And in the other match, we will see New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against the Authors of Pain's Akam and Razor. New Japan Pro Wrestling also announced a bunch of stuff on Tuesday, including the full card for this weekend's Royal Quest. Royal Quest IV will take place from the Crystal Palace Indoor Sports Center in London on Sunday. Here are the matches that are scheduled for the show. It will be the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr., who won that title at King of Pro Wrestling this weekend from Tetsuya Naito. His first title defense will come in London against Sonata, and I'm expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to receive quite the hero's welcome in London as he returns the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. The New Japan Strong Tag Team Championships will be defended as well, as Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste of TMDK defend against Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii. Tetsuya Naito, Hiromu Takahashi, and Titan will team up to take on Ryohei Oiwa, Robbie Eagles, and Mascara Dorada. David Finlay will take on Taka Michinoku. Shota Umino will take on Callum Newman. Yota Tsuji will take on Drilla Maloney. Kosei Fujita versus Michael Oku. Mina Shirakawa will team up with Kanji to go up against Danny Luna and Azumi. And Taiji Ishimori and a mystery partner, who will also be Ishimori's partner in Super Junior Tag League, will take on Joe Lando and Danny Black. And in a kickoff match, Yuto Nakashima and Oscar Lube will face Brendan White and Danny Jones. Then after Royal Quest, the next big tournament for New Japan Pro Wrestling will be the Super Junior Tag League, which kicks off on October 24th, and the finals will be held at Power Struggle on November 4th. There will be a field of 12 teams split into two blocks, with the highest point getters in each block meeting in the finals at Power Struggle. So the 6 teams in the A block are Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, Hiramu Takahashi and Bushi, Ryosuke Takuchi and Dragon Dia, Tiger Mask and Captain Suicida. In the B block, we have the International Jet Setters, Kushida and Kevin Knight, TJP and Francesco Akira, Yo and Rocky Romero, the DKC and Ninja Back, Taiji Ishimori and whoever his mystery partner is, and Paris De Silva and Jude London. Then we've got a few matches announced for Power Struggle, including an IWGP World title bout. However, we don't really know who the champion or the challenger are going to be in that title match. So, as previously mentioned, Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata are wrestling for the title at Royal Quest. So what they determined at a press conference today is that if Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Sonata and retains his title, then Zack Sabre Jr. will defend the belt against Shingo Takagi at Power Struggle. Whereas if Sonata defeats Zack Sabre Jr. at Royal Quest, he will defend the belt at Power Struggle against Shota Umino. The rest of the matches announced for the show include the Super Junior Tag League Finals, as we mentioned, and IWGP Global Champion David Finlay defending his belt against Taichi, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Doki defending against Master Wato, who returned from an ACL injury at King of Pro Wrestling. The IWGP Tag Team Champions Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste defend against Hanare and Great-O-Khan, and Hiroshi Tanahashi and El Phantasmo will face Evil and Ren Narita. That wraps up all of today's coverage. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks again for watching the Wrestling Dispatch, and we will catch you next time.